10864. Stations your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
He's back out for a three. Left wing is good.
In the air to center, back at the wall. It's out of here.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
Indoor track and field national champion.
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
And for the fourth time in the last 6 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now, and it's really fun to be a part of.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you, and it's a busy day today. We're going to hear from Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens. Full disclosure, we actually talked with him yesterday because he's doing Pac-12 committee meetings right now. So we actually recorded with the Oregon Athletic Director yesterday. We have that for you coming in 2 segments. We're going to hear from a lot of Oregon football as well. Today, we will zero in with Tim DeRuyter, the Oregon defensive coordinator. Also, Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, following his squad's reverse sweep of USC this past weekend. Ducks bounced back after a rough go of it for a couple weeks. Matt Ulmer will be with us, and you know that he's going to probably bring a little fire with him today because the Ducks are able to take down USC. That's all to come on today's show. A couple of announcements, though, as we go on the air. Oregon wrapping up practice inside the Mashofsky Center today. The Ducks were in full pads, and it was a good practice, but they continue to rotate guys on the offensive line. Depth is being tested because the Ducks thought they would have Alex Forsythe right up till game time. Wasn't able to go. Ducks had to make an adjustment. Ryan Walk stepped in. Dawson Jaramillo playing right guard, left guard. TJ Bass was all over the place. And then today in practice, they were still repping a lot of different rotations. And it was fascinating. Ryan Walk, after practice today, when we were talking to him, he said that at one time, the 5 guys that were playing offensive line against UCLA had never been on the field in that configuration of offensive line ever before, which is just amazing to think about. Good news today for Kayvon Thibodeau. After sweeping a pair of Pac-12 weekly awards, Defensive Lineman and Defensive Player of the Week, KT has been named the Bednarik Award National Player of the Week. Playing in his first full game of the season. God, that still just wows me that it was the first full game of the season for Kayvon Thibodeau. KT was a dominant force in that 3-point win for the Ducks. Career high 9 tackles, 8 of those were solo. He had 4.5 tackles for loss, including 2 sacks and a forced fumble. Thibodeau, the 3rd Oregon defender to earn National Player of the Week honors this season. Verone McKinley was the Bronco Nagurski National Player of the Week following Oregon's win at Ohio State. And Bennett Williams was the Walter Camp National FBS Player of the Week and the Jim Thorpe Player of the Week after the Ducks win over Stony Brook. So the Ducks are really hitting all of the defensive Player of the Week honors, right? You got a Bednarik now. You've got a Jim Thorpe. Got a Walter Camp. Got a Nagurski. That's pretty much the best awards you could get for a defensive guy. So congratulations to Kayvon Thibodeau, certainly deserving. And also Sidney Parrish, Oregon sophomore guard, one of 20 players named to the preseason watch list for the Ann Myers Drysdale Award, honoring the nation's top shooting guard. This is after Tina Paopao was one of 20 preseason watch list honorees for the Best Point Guard of the Year award, the Nancy Lieberman Award. So Sidney Parrish is a freshman, appeared in all 23 games, 6 points, nearly 3 rebounds per contest. She's pretty good. 2nd Oregon player to be named to a watch list. That means that the Ducks have a top 20 point guard and a top 20 shooting guard on their roster, according to the preseason watch list. Pretty impressive. 12:30 kickoff for Oregon football against Colorado coming up on Fox. 10:30 pregame show for us on the Oregon Sports Network. The Ducks looking forward to getting back home to Autzen Stadium. One guy who's looking forward to that, too, is Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens. Yesterday, we sat down with the Oregon Athletic Director for about a 20-minute conversation covering football, covering Pac-12, a whole lot of other topics with the Oregon Athletic Director. Let's get into it with Rob Mullens. You're a busy man, so thanks for coming in and recording on a Monday, and then we're going to air this, of course, on a Tuesday. I mean, so what's on the schedule? What do you got coming up?
It is a busy week. Obviously, we're in that interesting time, right, where we've got we're in the heart of the fall sports schedule. We've got the winter sports picking up, and then we also have our fall Pac-12 council meeting.
Got it.
So we meet as an AD group, and then the whole council is made up of the ADs, the senior women's administrators, the student-athlete leadership group, as well as the faculty athletic reps and the conference staff.
Yeah, so that's a big meeting. So, that's why we're going to record a day early, and then, you actually have like a full-time job and stuff.
Yeah, we do. And then this is also we rotate the chairs of each council group, and this is my year to be the chairman of the Pac-12 ADs.
Congratulations.
So you can't kind of drift off in the back when there gets to certain agenda items that maybe you're not as focused on because you're leading the meeting. So you have to be locked in for the entire, whatever it is, 6-7 hours.
Right. All right. Well,
not that I ever drift off. I don't want to give you the wrong impression.
I was going to say, you don't strike me as the guy that does that.
No. If one was inclined to check their regular work emails while there was an agenda item that didn't require a lot of discussion, they could do that.
Sure. Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, joining us. So let's check in on football season. Rob, I mean, there have been some close games. Do you have any extra gray hairs as a result of this season?
Well, I got plenty of grays, but I've got plenty of lost hair through it, more so. But, hey, this team keeps finding a way to win, right? And when you're a top 10 team and have had the sustained success that Oregon football has had, you're going to get everybody's best shot. And we went into, a game day, another road game, a game day atmosphere. They're giving out free burritos and free T-shirts and doing whatever they could to get a crowd. They probably haven't had a crowd that big in the Rose Bowl in years for a regular season game. So everybody comes out for the Ducks. We had a great crowd there for us as well. And, again, just another resilient performance by this football team.
Yeah, hey, how about that crowd that travels? I mean, we know that Oregon fans travel well, and the alumni base is large in a lot of these other Pac-12 communities.
It is, and it's obviously our Pac-12 peers love it when the Ducks are when they have Ducks on their home schedule because, they know that our fans are going to show up. And show up they did, and even though they may try to put them up as far away from the field as they can, they're heard, and they make a difference. And I think that's why you see when we have these wins on the road, our student athletes run to where that Oregon Duck faithful are and thank them because it makes a difference. And obviously we have it's a strong recruiting base for us, so a lot of parents. You probably saw afterwards, we're not quick to leave because there are so many families there, and we do want to give our student athletes this opportunity to celebrate in this instance with their family, but see their loved ones.
All right, this is going to be a true Duck Insider moment, okay? To all of you families that spend a little bit of time post-game, we certainly appreciate it because it gives me more time to pack up and get to the equipment truck.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it also gives all of us a chance to digest our food instead of shoveling it in before we jump on the bus and hustle to the airport. Isn't that so true?
These are the important things on road trips that you have to think about. Self-care, right?
Yeah, self-care. But it is great to see the family members too. And that's an important piece of this. And it's just fun to stand back and watch the student athletes with their parents.
Speaking of family, Rob, one thing that I always love, especially when we're down in Southern California, there are certainly a lot of big-time Oregon celebrities that are down in that area, and we saw a ton of them on the sideline, and I got a chance to talk with a lot of them. That's so cool to see some of the former players come back supporting this program.
It is so cool. I mean, obviously, all those people have put a lot into the program, take great pride, and, once a Duck, always a Duck, and to see them back and cheering, and you can see the energy with the current student athletes and how much they love seeing them. And it's always great to catch up with Justin or a Jeff Locke. Great to see Troy. I hadn't seen Troy Hill in a number of years because he's been playing.
Right.
And it was great to see Troy. Obviously Justin Hollins is having success. So many of them there. Saw Avery Patterson. just so many former Ducks that are so proud and love the institution.
You know, how special is that for you in your chair, just to see that connection? How much of a priority is that to keep that connection?
Oh, it's a huge connection. Obviously, you know, we stand on the shoulders of those who've come before, and we're all just here for a period of time contributing to something that's much bigger than us. So it's important. And, you know, for me, one of my favorite parts of the job is to watch these young people change, not only in their 4 years, but, you know, you get to catch up with a Troy Hill and see how much success that young man has had, his growth while he was here. And obviously his ability to translate to the NFL has been pretty special.
One guy that I think we're going to be having a conversation just like this about in a few years is Kayvon Thibodeau. If you didn't get a chance to see the piece on game day about, well, a lot of things, but one, his chess skills. You know, I really do think, and I said this when he was a freshman, he comes across as a man who's much older than he is. He's very mature. I really do think he's playing chess while the rest of us are playing checkers sometimes, Rob.
That's for sure. And as you said, we noticed it right when he arrived. We did an event. I can't remember.
It was signing day.
Signing day. Exactly right. So we do an event in Portland, and he's working the room like he's a grizzled veteran fundraiser. It was impressive to see because he loves meeting people. Yeah. He loves learning new things, and he's just, you know, he's an outstanding young man who's taken full advantage of the collegiate experience, including the most recent name, image, likeness legislation. And as he said on that game day piece, you know, kind of football is kind of his platform, but he got much bigger aspirations for his impact.
How big is you know, that influence from a student athlete like that in the larger context of it is bigger than all of us, but certainly he helps, doesn't he?
Well, when you have somebody with that talent level, with that level of visibility and that work ethic, you know, when the top talent sees this as much bigger than just sport, it certainly has an impact.
Yeah. Fans at Autzen, we're coming back to Autzen Stadium, 12:30 kickoff. I know a lot of fans are going to love that. You love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, on the road and at home.
Yeah, that's right. You know, 12:30 has been the most popular game slot on the road. So getting home earlier, Rob, I mean, hey, it's been a good year for kickoff times.
It has been a really good year for kickoff times, and I know we have a lot of conversation about that, but hopefully it'll continue.
All right. Fans, though, look, that's a big advantage. It is a home field advantage for good reason, and we know that game day has been different, but it's been great to have fans back.
It has been great to have fans back, and, you know, obviously those traditions. It's fun to go to these other venues and watch some of our competitors try to replicate the energy that Shout gives. Mm-hmm. I saw a national writer reference the impact that Shout at the end of the third quarter has on the energy of our football team between the lines as we start the fourth quarter. So, again, that home field advantage in so many ways has a lasting impact on every game.
Yeah. Last time you were on, we praised the new sing-along, by the way. And I have to tell you, so since then, Rachel's been on the show.
Uh-oh,
Rachel
good.
Doyle's in charge of marketing.
It's a huge hit.
It is a huge hit.
Rachel brought it with that. People love it.
And we have gotten, I think, about 20 different requests for songs. So thanks, everybody. I think we're set for, like, the next 5 seasons. And, of course, it's going to change. But
when we referenced that and encouraged input when I was on, I raced right – when I took the headset off, I went right to Rachel's office and said, if you see your email ticker start clicking, it's my fault, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. So of course, we had to talk about it when she came on. It was her Duck Insider debut, and she was happy about it. So,
right.
You know, that's what you like to see. But the reason I bring that up, you know, that's fun for us inside these walls to have those sorts of things take off. But fans, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, well, in fact, I think I'm going to go get a sneak peek for what this week's sing-along might be, just in case I don't know the words and want to sing.
That's funny. You know, I'm the first to admit this is, you know, back to Joey Mack in college days, okay? The fact that the Alumni Association beat T-shirts had Mighty Oregon, the lyrics on the back of the shirt. For a young freshman, that was the greatest thing ever because you could cheat, right? You could read the lyrics off the student sitting in front of you, so – you know, I understand. You got to be prepared.
Absolutely. If you want to get engaged with 60,000, you got to come strong.
Yeah. We talk about investing in the student athlete experience a lot. I know that's a number one priority for you. The latest is the indoor practice facility that's been announced. And if you haven't seen the images, encourage you to find them via the University of Oregon website, around.uoregon.edu. New practice facility. I know details still getting worked out, but this is an exciting time.
Yeah, still in the planning phase, but, it is kind of that next level of innovation and student-athlete experience. And, it obviously has a significant impact on football in a number of ways. But it also helps, so many other sports, because the Mashofsky Center has a phenomenal facility. And again, when it was built, was way ahead of its time. It is the most used facility at Oregon Athletics, because we get to this time of year and everybody needs indoor time. The plans for this new facility is going to be obviously a huge help to football, but it's going to free up a lot of time in the Mashofsky Center for so many other sports. And with the flexibility of Mashofsky Center, you can do a ton in there.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the details, you haven't heard us talk about it, basically where the current outdoor practice fields are, that's going to become a whole new facility, and then it's going to attach to the HDC, a new player lounge, an expanded weight facility, and then there's also a connection to the Mashofsky Center. It's basically the indoor compound of everyone's dreams.
Yeah, no, it's a great connection, and obviously, part of that student-athlete experience will be sports science, sports medicine, nutrition, when you can get it right next to the HDC, an expanded weight room. And again, these are always innovative designs, but functionality is at the heart of everything.
More details to come. A few years away from really breaking ground, and so
still in the planning phases
going on. But I guess more details to come, right?
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
And more to come on the show as we talk with Rob Mullens about that indoor practice facility and a few other topics around Oregon athletics. It is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We continue with Rob Mullens next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s, like go back to college, learn to skateboard. Whoa. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. At aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a free 3-minute chat with the friendly digital retirement coach, Avo, and receive personalized tips to help boost your savings. Start chatting with Avo today at aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse? Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack here in the Country Financial Studio. Shirley with a great suggestion. Saturday is Marcus Mariota's birthday. Instead of doing the sing-along, we should sing Happy Birthday to Marcus. I love that idea. If Marcus is there, because I think it is a bye week, as Shirley mentioned, I'm in. Maybe we just all bust out into a happy birthday. It doesn't even have to be for the sing-along segment. I like where your head's at, Shirley. You're in section 21. Okay. We're ready for you. Going to continue with Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens. A little bit more on that new indoor practice facility and a whole lot of other subjects with the Ducks AD. the value of facilities in college athletics. We know that it's been kind of an arms race, for lack of a better description.
No, it has been, and it's an important part. I mean, obviously, when you compete at this level in every sport, that's a piece when student athletes, whether it's an unofficial or official visit, they want to see the support structure around them. And obviously, we have one of the best, if not the best, facility infrastructure from a student-athlete experience standpoint in all the country. Then you layer in the wonderful people that we have leading these units, along with the unique relationship with Nike, the incredible fan support, and that's a real recipe for success.
I'm curious, too, as we talk about beyond football. You mentioned that the Majovsky Center gets freed up. Well, another thing is PK Park. I haven't gotten a chance to talk with you about that with some of the improvements for PK Park on the horizon. Tell fans about that.
Yeah, no, we're obviously that turf is probably past its useful life. PK Park is an outstanding facility. We want to keep it at the forefront of college baseball, one of the best in the Pac-12. So we're going to be looking at a new turf. Probably going to move the fences in a little bit to create some offense, which I know will get fans excited. And then look at a few other video board and some other elements. HJ, Justin, and the whole fundraising team are out there. This is at the top of the list of capital projects that we're raising money for right now. So once we can get that money raised, we're going to go full steam ahead and, do some improvements there to keep us at the forefront.
I know Coach Wazkowski is excited about it. This was kind of part of his long-term plan.
It
right?
was part of his vision. Obviously when we talked to him about taking the job, this was a big piece. And again, player development, fan engagement, again, all those elements that we talk about that are really important to being at the top of the Pac-12. These changes will help implement that.
It just occurred to me, I didn't tell you that I was going to ask you about this, but I haven't talked with you about the Pac-12 baseball tournament yet. How excited are you for that?
I'm really excited. That's something that's always been discussed for years, and the Pac-12 has done a phenomenal job of exploring that opportunity, and to finally see it come to fruition. When you think about the time of year and the level of play in this league, for those that love baseball, it's going to be a phenomenal experience, and I think Scottsdale's going to do a great job.
Yeah. Rob Mullens joining us, Oregon Athletic Director. A couple more things. Basketball season is on the horizon. In fact, women's basketball season really starts on Thursday. Exhibition is coming up on Thursday, so, hey, it's here. Women's basketball, let's start there.
It is here. A lot of excitement. Both men's and women's have had their media days. You've seen so many of our student athletes on the men's side and on the women's side on all these watch lists. Obviously, the Pac-12 coaches thought highly of both of our programs and where they placed them in the preseason ranking. I'm excited. Lots of new faces, new names, but we've got two outstanding coaches. Again, the home court advantage, and so it's going to be fun to see them grow and build throughout the season.
With women's basketball, I got to ask you a little bit about the schedule that they've put together. I mean, we know UConn's coming here in January. Tickets are available. I'm telling you, GoDucks.com for your tickets for both of these teams. But the schedule is one that's what you love to see.
Absolutely, and on both sides. Obviously, both of our coaches are not afraid to play anybody anywhere. We've got some outstanding home games. You mentioned UConn. We've got Baylor. On the November 13th weekend, we've got a men's basketball game Friday night, a football game Saturday, and a women's basketball game Sunday. So for those coming to Eugene, it's kind of the perfect weekend to be able to kind of settle in and get a little bit of all three of those sports. And I believe volleyball might be home on that same weekend.
They are.
So if you need your Ducks fix, that's the weekend to get to Eugene.
Yeah, so November 12th, you've got volleyball against USC at 4 o'clock on Friday. Then it's men's basketball against SMU at 8 o'clock, which is a really good SMU team, by the way. That's a preseason
really
tournament pick. That's a good Friday night non-conference game. Then you've got Washington State in town for football on Saturday, volleyball at noon on Sunday on the 14th, and then the women's basketball team plays at 5 o'clock. So that's a great Duck weekend.
That is a great Duck weekend.
All right, well, a few more things for you. With men's basketball, I wanted to ask you about the importance of the PK Invitational and being able to go up to Portland because that's a cool thing. I love that the men's team always makes an effort to go up to Portland and play a game.
Yeah, Portland's obviously extremely important to us, and anytime you talk to Oregon Ducks basketball fans, they reference the Far West Classic and how important that was. And obviously, we love being in Portland, work really hard to get a good game up in Portland. And, obviously the PK80 was one of a kind. That'll never be duplicated. That was the best in-season tournament ever assembled, and I don't think anybody will ever come close to that. And
we
so
could just do it again, right?
Oh, yeah, we could do it again, absolutely. But then to kind of, piggyback off of that and be able to get the level of game that we're getting up there, I think it's going to be great. Love to pack the arena again, provide another home court advantage. Fans can impact college athletics, in a big way, and it'll be great to be in front of a big crowd in Portland.
That's November 16th, 7 o'clock at the Moda Center. Oregon's playing BYU. That's another preseason projected tournament.
And BYU travels really well. When we've played them, in other sports, their fans will come out strong. So we're going to have to step up.
We touched on this also, talking about women's basketball, women's athletics in general. We touched on this not that long ago with you, that Lisa Peterson, Senior Women's Administrator, Deputy Athletic Director, recently honored as a Sports Business Journal Game Changer. Well, she actually was at the event and got the honor, so I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, what a huge honor. Well-deserved. Obviously, she's been a leader in the industry for a long time. You can see by, the committee assignments and the tasks. Obviously, we know what she does here every single day and the impact that she has on that student-athlete experience we referenced, on the success of all of our programs. And it's nice to see her recognized. Now, that is a big-time recognition from the Sports Business Journal. That's industry-wide, not just for college athletics. That's professional sports, corporate recognitions for those who work in sports. So, that is a small list, and she deserves to be on it.
Lastly, the women's soccer season is coming to a close, and it looks like they're in good position, Rob, which is pretty awesome. I don't want to jinx anything, and Graham Abel's office is right across from mine, so can't say this too loud, but it looks like the first postseason in program history.
Well, they should have been in last year, right? Yes. If the field would have been at 64, we're confident. But laid a strong foundation, and what they've been able to do this year is to continue that progress. And so proud of what they've done. Finish strong, get in that tournament. And in that sport, you don't know what's going to happen in the tournament. And if you can get in, I believe if you're one of the top 32 seeds, you get to host at least one home game.
Right.
Again, which would be a phenomenal experience.
Awesome at Pape Field. Volleyball was able to bounce back this past weekend for a reverse sweep of USC, which is great to see. And before you know it, their season is going to be coming to a close.
They are. I mean, they're battling some injuries. And in both those sports in this league, again, go look at the top 25 in women's soccer or in volleyball, and you can see, you have to run the gauntlet in this league to be in the top half. And if you can get even higher than that, and that does translate to postseason. When we see our teams that can compete well in the Pac-12, they typically perform well in postseason. So proud of Matt and what that team has done. They've just, they've battled injuries much like football, but just keep finding a way for people. Just keep stepping up.
Also, before you know it, cross-country nationals. Yeah,
right. Pac-12's this week, right? Mm-hmm. And then you get into the regionals and the nationals. And no, as I said at the top here, we are in the crazy time, right? Fall's in the meat of the schedule, coming down the stretch. We've got the winter sports cranking up, and it's a fun time.
Oh, and men's and women's golf. The tennis teams are in action, and softball is playing in the fall slate, although they've had to battle a little bit of weather. And then it's baseball alumni weekend. So
thank goodness for Outlook.
Yeah, that's right. That calendar is if anybody ever looks at my color coding on my calendar, I think it overwhelms them. Because let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 7 different colors on the calendar just for this week.
That would be overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a lot. Rob Mullens, thank you.
Hey,
Oregon Athletic
great
Director.
To see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for recording with us. Best of luck in the meeting. Do I say good luck? I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, good luck will work. This is a great league. Commissioner Kay is doing a fantastic job. George has been wonderful, outstanding colleague. So. The collegiality and the collaboration is really strong in the Pac-12 right now. So we've got a lot to get done, and tomorrow will be a good day.
Love to see it. Thanks, Rob. Go Ducks.
Right. Thanks. Go Ducks.
He's Rob Mullens, the Oregon Athletic Director, kind enough to record with us yesterday because those meetings are going on today as we speak. And when we come back, we're going to shift gears, talk a little bit with Tim DeRuyter, Oregon Defensive Coordinator, and Oregon Volleyball Head Coach Matt Ulmer will be with us next, too, on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Exit Strategy, no matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places.
What's with Mountain Dew? Mountain Dew is like a zip line of incredible flavor directly into your brain. Mountain Dew is like getting punched in the mouth with pure neon refreshment that creates a neural explosion, sending flavor shards of electric brain pulses into your very core of being. Okay, maybe that's a little over the top, but you get the idea. The fact is, the mind-bending challenge of describing the taste of Mountain Dew is way harder than just experiencing it. That, of course, is easy. Just grab an ice cold Dew, crack it open, and toss them back. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Dear exit strategy. No matter which Toyota you choose, there's an exit from the ordinary to match. See you soon, Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer or Toyota.com today. Toyota. Let's go places.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Back on Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack here in the Coach Financial Studio. Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer coming up in just a little bit. But now, thanks to our friends at the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center, fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. Let's talk a little defense. Oregon defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter, his thoughts on the win over UCLA and what he makes of this Colorado team. And getting a few guys back has sure been nice. Here's Tim DeRuyter with his weekly conversation with the media.
Tim, wanted to ask you specifically on Adrian Jackson and what you saw from him and how he played, but also just what he means to you and the ability to open up more one-on-ones for KT throughout a game, not just on dime. Yes, I perfectly understand that, but what his presence and Swinson and KT together means to changing results across the board for the second half of the season.
Well, Adrian's had a really nice couple of weeks of practice. He was dinged up there for a bit, and his development kind of stunted a little bit, but he ended up playing, I think, 40-something snaps for us the other day, not just in third down situations. And he's proven to us through his play, through his work during practice, and then during the games that he's becoming a much more reliable player, particularly in the run game. And that was, probably the rub on him in the past. He's being more consistent with his eyes and his hands. He plays extremely hard, and to have his speed and burst off one edge and, having KT on the other, and then we can go to a dime package and mix in, KT at different spots where if they want to chip him, we can line him up as a 3. We can stun him to different areas. It just gives us a lot more possibilities when you've got guys like him and then Braden Swinson coming back that can rush from different angles. And, an offense has to contend with all of them. They can't just always slide that protection to KT.
Colorado has one of the best red zone offenses in the FBS. Is that something you have been working on during the week? And what would you say are the main challenges they pose in that area?
Well, I think the main challenge is Colorado's got a heck of a running back. I mean, they've got a good scheme. A lot of good teams in this league have good schemes. But the magic is the guy Broussard. I mean, he was the conference offensive player of the year last year. Extremely quick, dynamic runner, can make guys miss. You design offensive plays where you like to block them all, but there's usually someone going to be free. Well, he makes that guy miss a bunch. And you've got to have multiple guys at the point of attack to control him. And just like any running game, you've got to do a great job setting edges, keep him confined. One of their best plays, I think, is the way they run their stretch play. They get guys spread out, give him a little bit of crease, and he takes advantage of it. So we got to do a great job this week of continuing our fundamentals of setting great edges with our edge guys, tear off blocks and make tackles.
KT obviously got a lot of attention for what he did off the edge for you guys, but could you maybe give some analysis of Dorless and Popo, two guys that it's hard, stats don't show what they did, and it felt like they played really, really well for you guys stuffing the run.
They did. I think, maybe lost in the excitement of the win is the fact that UCLA, we held them to their least rushing yards of the year. We knew going into the game that's what was going to make their offense go. They were rushing for over 200 yards a game. And a big reason we were able to do that was the play of Brandon and Popo. DJ's first pick, Brandon does a great job converting the rush and getting his hand up, getting a hand on the ball, gets it slightly tipped, and DJ gets it. So those guys, I thought all day long really played their best game and were instrumental in us having the outcome we needed to have.
I want to be critical of previous players at will linebacker, but it seems like you got about as good a production as you've had since Justin went down from Jeffrey on Saturday. Just where is his growth taking place, and would you agree that he played at a really high level on Saturday?
Yeah, I think each week he's feeling more and more comfortable. You're starting to see the athleticism that we've seen for a while now. I think when you first change positions, especially if you've been an outside guy and now you're having to play in the box, it comes at you fast. Well, Jeff's a smart guy. He's a quick learner, but he's got a lot of natural movement skills that are ideal for an inside linebacker. He can rush off an edge. We can blitz him inside. And he had a really productive day and started showing glimpses of the player we think he can be. Now, we think his ceiling is a lot higher than what he showed Saturday. And Coach Wilson's doing a great job getting him up to speed. He'll get him, to that next level where we know he can get to hopefully quicker, rather than later.
Hey, Tim, with DJ James, obviously a couple of really big plays that are going to show up on the highlight reel, but what was your general evaluation of his play, and how have you seen him kind of progress over the last few weeks?
Yeah, no, I was really pleased with how he played. Going back a couple games ago, at the end of the Stanford game, he was disappointed in how he played. And he committed himself to, correcting that and, to make the big plays at the right time, particularly that last drive. Our corners had to make plays, and both he and McKeel both stepped up big times and played a ton of plays. Because of their tempo, it was hard to get guys off the field and sub people on and off. They had to weather a lot of storms, and I thought they both did a really nice job.
A couple of Colorado guys specifically, Tim. You mentioned Broussard, but Fontenot also, and I know he's productive a couple of years ago, had the injury last year.
Right.
What do you see from him as a compliment where they haven't necessarily had the production out of those two backs that they were looking for? And I know their passing game is certainly struggling, but Rice has great top-end speed. What do you see from him?
Well, going back to Fontenot, I think they have a really good 1-2 punch. You got the fastballer with Fontenot, you get a lot more downhill runs. He's a very physical runner. And then you got the knuckleballer with Broussard, where he's going to make guys miss. And again, neither of them need a whole lot of room to make yardage. So different style runners, but both very, very effective. Rice is a guy our guys have to know about. He's going to be the guy that we believe they're going to target to take their shots, to make their big plays. And he's done it, all year long. So we got to know where he's at. And, we're still developing game plan thoughts to try to change looks for him and hopefully be able to slow him down.
That's Tim DeRuyter, Oregon defensive coordinator. We're going to hear more from him coming up. Now that we transition to Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach is here.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fire.
I did say that you would be fired
Woo!
in the interview today.
There I am.
Hey, look, reverse swept USC. You guys have beaten them 4 straight times, and all of them have been 5-setters. So,
not good for the blood pressure.
Yeah,
it's not good.
How is that blood pressure now?
It feels warm inside right now.
Really? Just
yeah.
Well, that's because you brought fire to the interview.
That's what it is.
That's right.
What it is.
Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, Matt Ulmer is gonna bring that fire here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Fire.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers, football is back! So consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment, seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages.
It's been so long.
Nope, sorry, Susan, not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack, along with Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach here in the Country Financial Studio. Coach, you know, we were actually discussing earlier. Yeah, good. Yeah, thank you. Round of applause.
Thank you.
Are you someone that does this? Like you actually go in a circle? Round of applause?
I think you just did that, no?
No?
Oh, that was
just
a
golf clap? Oh, okay. We were actually discussing it during a break, Matt, that if ever something happened where, like, I
Coach
had
Ulmer.
to leave.
Coach Ulmer.
Coach Ulmer.
Yep.
We were discussing, Coach Ulmer, that if I ever had to, like, leave during a show, that you're the perfect guest to have scheduled because we could just put a headset on you and just tell you to go, and you would fill the 15 minutes that we would need you to do.
Is that a compliment?
Yes.
It is. Oh, well, thanks. Thanks, guys.
That's a compliment. Coach Ulmer.
It kind of doesn't feel like a compliment, though.
Why?
It just feels like that means I talk too much.
No, that means that you have the ability to be entertaining and fill the show.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So
I'm going to tell my wife that. I want to see what her response would be.
She would agree.
That it's a compliment or no?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask her. I'll let you know next week.
Okay, good.
How are you?
Good, man.
Yeah?
I'm can't complain.
What's new?
A lot of sports going on. Ducks are winning a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's good to see.
How was your trip?
It could have been better.
Yeah?
Could have been better. Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been better, because.
Oh, I see. It's my fault.
No, it's not.
I get it now.
I think it's more UCLA.
I shouldn't have asked then.
I think it's UCLA's fault.
I brought it upon myself.
Yeah. Let's talk about your trip.
Could have been better. Yeah. Could have been
better. Recap. Now that we'll, look at the camera.
Hey.
Tough one against UCLA. Bruins are pretty good. We're going to talk about that. But then you guys were able to bounce back, and you reverse swept USC.
Yep.
You're battling injuries. UCLA, they're pretty good. That seemed like kind of you ran into a buzzsaw while you're dealing with some injuries for your team.
They are good. Both of their lefts are really high level.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we're in all three sets, and we just couldn't quite get the lead or keep it. But we're learning, I think. So, but they're good. Mac May's fantastic. Yeah. And I thought we did a lot of good things against her, and she still had 24 kills in 3 sets. So that's solid.
Yeah.
So, yep. And then, went to USC and kind of more of the same in the first 2 sets and made a lineup change. And I thought the team just fought really hard and thought our serving came alive, which was exciting, and we really needed that.
And ball control came alive. I thought Elise did a great job setting the offense by herself in the last 3 sets, and Nunaviller was just fantastic and just kind of got that look in her eyes like it's time to win.
Did you see that? Like, did you see it in the third set? Like, she just had that.
Yeah,
fire
I thought
in
she
her
was
eyes?
going to hurt me at the start of the match. I was intimidated.
You don't feel that way all the time
doesn't.
with her?
Not quite like that. No, not quite
This
like
was
that.
another level.
No, she was. I thought she was mad at me. I didn't know. I was nervous, but no, she was great, and just was a really great example. And Georgia was fantastic at the service line. Kind of got us the lead in both the third and fourth sets, and we just kind of kept going from there and kept the pressure on, and made enough plays to win. So I think just feel like we needed that. So we just needed some people to step up and kind of take control, and a couple of them did.
I mean, look, you guys had we talked about it last week, Wick, with injuries. 11 straight sets that you guys lost, and then you bounced back and beat USC. I mean, something had to click there, right?
I mean, you hope, right? I mean, just your pride, and we do this every day, so you just want to be good at it, and all the time that they spend, and we're really good, and the stretch is against really good competition, right?
Sure, yeah.
So not a lot of teams will have to play all those ranked teams back to back to back like we will, but that's why you chose to coach in the Pac-12. That's why you chose to play in the Pac-12, and so I think hopefully that is just showing us what we need to continue to get better at and what we're capable of doing.
Back to the serving for a second. I mean, you guys had 7 aces. Most that you've had in a while this season. So you love to see that.
Yes, and I think we only had 1 going into the third set.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few reasons for the change in the lineup. One is to just have more impactful servers the whole way through. So adding Daly and Elise Agee and just kind of switching that up, getting a little bit more, getting Taylor Borup a rest in the back row. We were able to do that with the 5-1, and then Elise has just been doing a great job running the offense, and the lefts have to score more if we do that. And I thought Brooke and Taylor Borup both did a great job. So that part was exciting, but. Yeah, our serving, I feel like I've been talking about it for a few weeks. Like, it just hasn't been as good as what we were earlier in the year. Just feel like we have a lull, or I'm not really sure. Just not quite as aggressive with it, or executing quite as well as we're going to need to. And especially against USC, if they're in system, they are really tough. So you have to get them in trouble. And we didn't do a great job of that the first 2 sets. And then after that, I thought we put a lot of pressure on them. And I thought that was a huge piece in changing the momentum.
Now, Ulmer Oregon volleyball head coach joining us. You mentioned Daly McClellan, first kill of her Oregon career.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
You're always going to remember that, right?
I hope she does. I'll remember it.
Good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Out of the back row, too.
Look at you. Yeah. You're on it.
I try.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah. No, she's great. Daly and Elise, they were injured for most of the season.
Mm-hmm.
So just the last few weeks they've been cleared and ready to go. So just to have them as options, to have some more depth, I think that's really helpful. And so you get a chance to use them. It's just fun to see them step up. They're both really nice players, and I thought they were really impactful.
Well, depth is always important, right? Like we've talked about this before. You never want to see injuries, but you kind of know that you're probably going to see a few. So it's good to finally be talking about some players coming back from injury with your squad for once.
Totally. And Kiari Roby against UCLA got her first start, and she was fantastic. She led us in points in her first full match playing, I think, in her career, and that was against a really good team on the road, and that was really encouraging. So just being able to actually have these people, and they've been able to practice long enough and give them a chance to get in and show what they can do, and hopefully it's just really encouraging for them to just continue to push and get better.
So now that you have those options at your disposal, I don't know, how true is it that maybe now you're more difficult to scout because they haven't seen?
We haven't had the same lineup for the past I don't know how many weekends.
So you're already really difficult to scout.
Yeah, because you don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah. Do you know what you're going to do?
No, not always. Yeah. If you saw the notes section of my phone, there's like 97 different lineups. So
really?
I have them all in my head. It's just a matter of which trigger I'm going to pull. So, but I thought, I think everybody's ready to go. So just trying to figure out what's best for our team. And again, it's a long season, right? We still have 10 more matches to go in our regular season, and you want to just keep trying to figure out who you are and what's going to make us the best and give us a chance to make a long run in the postseason.
Well, on that note, it's the second half of Pac-12 play now, right? So you're 15-5, you're 6-4 in conference. This is kind of the normal broadcaster question to ask when you get to this point in the season. Like, where are you at? You feel good with where you're at? What do you need to get better at? Just kind of give us your assessment right now.
I'm not sure where we're at. I think we're learning. I think we're a good team. I think there's things we do well. But I feel like we haven't competed as well the last couple of weeks as I'd like to see us. And again, I understand adversity happens, like I said, injuries happen, all that kind of stuff, but I think that's, we can still overcome a lot of that stuff. And I feel like we backed down a little bit for the first time in a long time. We backed down, and I didn't like that at all. And so I thought Nunneviller's demeanor against USC was really important. And then Georgia followed that up, and we just kind of ran with it. And I think that's more our identity. I think that's who we are. So I think we need to continue to have that personality, maybe a little chip on the shoulder. I don't know what it is, but just toughness. I think that's what's made us pretty special here the last little bit. So hopefully we can take that on, and whether we stay in the 5-1 or 6-2, we have options. Who can play in the back row? Everybody can stay healthy. We have options, and it's way more enjoyable as a coach to have the options to be able to use than just kind of be stuck in whatever we have.
With all those different lineups like we've been talking about, and the 5-1, the 6-2, all the different options that you have. Two-part question. One, you guys are probably one of the more versatile groups out there, right? Like, do you feel like you have more options than the average team, I suppose?
I think if we have everybody, we have a lot of quality depth.
Yeah.
And I think, we have 2 setters that are both very good. We have a handful of middles that are really good. We have multiple 6-rotation players, that can score and play on the back row. And, again, not a lot of teams have that. And multiple liberos. You saw Becca Moore step in for Georgia, and then the 2 right sides that have both had matches where they're extremely dominant. I think, again, it's about consistency. I'm a big believer in not making a lot of change. So if you're paying attention, you can see that, but, if we have to make a change, we will. But, I like, getting cohesion together. I like figuring out how you play next to the person next to you. And so trying to give them all the opportunity to do that, but at the same time, trying to pay attention as we evolve as individuals and as a team, what's the best lineup for us. And so I think that's what we're trying to figure out moving forward.
That's really interesting you bring up, like, you're not one to make changes, but, like just this past weekend, you had to, and it worked.
Yeah, needed to. Again, it kind of felt like we were stale, or just, what we were doing obviously wasn't working, so you got to keep looking at, well, what is that going to be? And at the end of the day, the players are the ones that are going to create the results either way. And so I just need to pay attention, and, if that's what it's going to take, then that's what it's going to take. So I really appreciate how hard we played, and, we put some pressure on them, and all of a sudden we got some momentum, and there you go.
It's a big one on Friday. They're all big.
They're all big.
At this point.
Yeah.
Oregon Volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer, our guest. A couple more minutes, and, Coach, 6 o'clock Friday, Matthew Knight Arena, be there.
Mm-hmm.
Utah, it's round 2 against the Utes.
Yeah, we didn't like the way we played it at their place the first time around. So.
Round 1, round 2 is going to be better.
That's right. You put it out there.
Yeah, I did.
I like that. Yeah, no, I think, this, like you said, they're all big. And 6-4 is, we're not really happy with 6-4 the first round. Hopefully we can we can just play better. And I think the results will take care of themselves. But it starts with Friday against Utah, who's a very good team. And Danny Drews is one of the best players in the country, and she beat us up the first time, so we have to do a better job on her. And again, like I just said, we have to keep service pressure on them. That was a big difference for us against USC. So can we do that? Can we handle the ball better on our side? And then, we just got to fight like heck all the time.
Colorado on Sunday, that's Halloween. Do you encourage fans to show up in costume?
I would love to see that.
Excellent. Are you going to be in costume?
I will dress up like a head coach.
Good. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then whatever Nike gives me, that's what I'll wear.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah. I will do that. Are you going to go?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you have something that you have to be at?
No, I'm not a Halloween guy, actually. That's
shocking.
Yeah, I'm not.
Wow.
I don't know why. I mean, Coach Graves would really dislike that I'm saying that. But yeah, I've never been a big Halloween guy.
You should wear socks with sandals. That's what you should wear.
I could dress up as you.
No, don't do that.
I'd have to get stilts.
Okay, that would be funny.
I mean, I could try.
You could try that.
I've never walked on stilts. I don't think it would go well.
I don't think it would go well either.
No. Can you walk on stilts? You already do anyway.
I kind of do.
Legs.
Yeah. I remember at one point I was 6'7", 157.
Yeah.
So it's basically like I was living on stilts.
Yeah. That. Mm-hmm.
With a size 14 shoe. It was skinny and it was awkward. Well, I didn't get really picked on that much though.
You're better now. Had to get that one.
Again, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure I know how to take that, so thank you.
He's Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach. Hey, good luck this weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Good to be back at Matthew Knight Arena.
It's great to see your face.
You too.
Thanks, buddy.
At least half your face.
Some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The part that matters, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
who knows? Yeah, you brought the fire today. Good work.
Did I?
I thought so.
Okay.
I mean,
I don't know.
Did you not think it was one of your better performances?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought we didn't fight.
Yeah, that's weird.
People don't like that.
There's supposed to be isn't it like a brotherly fight? I mean, I feel like that's
what I
it
think.
is, but
I kind of like it.
no, we don't.
We could do that.
No, I would lose.
Would you?
Oh, 100%.
Oh.
You are far more athletic than I will ever be. It's true.
I just don't believe that. Oh, is it true?
No, it's true.
Okay.
Very true. Matt Ulmer, Oregon Volleyball head coach. The Ducks in action, 6 o'clock against Utah on Friday at Matthew Knight Arena. Get your tickets, and it's also on Pac-12 Network and on KWVA if you can't make it out. When we come back, it's going to be the end of the show. We like to finish things up with Matt Ulmer. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Far more athletic.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can step, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can step, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM.
Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
You know, it's always fun when we wrap up the show with Matt Ulmer. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union, Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Somebody made a comment to me. They were like, you know, you guys just, you fight a lot. And I said, yeah, it's kind of like a family fighting kind of a thing, He's going to rib me, I'm going to rib him. And I have no idea if it actually makes for a good interview or not. But, people in the studio say it's entertaining. I think that everybody in the studio likes it when Coach Ulmer's on the show because he just takes over and it's different, right? It's a different thing. Man, though, they were struggling. Made some changes, reverse swept USC. That's a huge, huge weekend for the Ducks coming up. They're all big, as Coach Ulmer said, but continuing that momentum, I feel like this is a big weekend at home for Oregon volleyball. Big weekend. We're going to hear a little bit more from Tim DeRuyter coming up tomorrow. Also a focus on the offense, and Coach Cristobal will meet with the media for the final time before the Ducks face Colorado. That's all coming up tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you